Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
What's going on, everyone? We are back with another episode of Diehard Football Podcast. I am Crispy Bacon here with Coach Coach D. How you doing today?
Hey, well, it's Cowboys Victory Monday.
It is.
Doing pretty good. Getting closer to Christmas.
Yeah.
So, y'all ready for Christmas?
We're ready. Yeah, it's coming quick this Saturday, and it seems like this year just flew on by.
Yeah, it's gone by pretty fast. So anyway, let's get going. The Cowboys beat the Giants yesterday.
They did.
Not really a pretty game, but the defense on the Cowboys continues to be the story. 3 interceptions and a fumble recovery. 4 straight games with 4 takeaways. Their defense is just crazy. They're carrying the team right now. Glennon for the Giants just wasn't having anything, and they bought in Jake Fromm, who I kind of forgot about. He was 5th-round draft pick, and by the Steelers or somebody, and they cut him. The Giants picked him up, and
I think he was drafted this year to New York.
By the Giants?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, because yesterday was the first time he played all year, which
right.
To me it's kind of surprising. What are the Giants playing for now?
Draft position, I'm guessing.
Well, they got to see what they got. Glennon is a veteran, been in the league a long time. As a backup mostly. The Giants, Daniel Jones is hurt this year a lot, and they still don't know about him. But yesterday coming in at 4-9, why don't you give the young rookie hadn't played a snap all year?
Yeah,
let him do that. I was kind of surprised, by that. He came in the end and he looked okay, but that's when it's garbage time. The Cowboys were looking, they were playing prevent defense. So all the short passes were, being completed by him. And then they went for it. They had like a 4th and goal on the 5. It would have got him closer. But then, defense stood up, held him, and so they took over and just completed it. The Cowboys defense, man, I can't Trayvon Diggs with another interception. Randy Gregory was a beast back there. DeMarcus Lawrence was all over the place. Micah Parsons, Javon Curse, all them guys, they're just making plays left and right. And Glennon threw 3 picks, fumbled everything. They were almost laughing at him, so I don't know.
Yeah.
On the offense, I don't know what's going. Dak didn't look super sharp again,
Right.
but they did. The offense didn't really open it up, though. There was hardly any downfield passes. They're mostly out to the sidelines and stuff. Dak was 28 out of 37, good percentage, but only 217 yards and a touch. The running game was pretty good. Tony Pollard, 12 carries, 74 yards.
He looked good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He had some burst. He made some goods around. He made some good runs around the end there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Elliott was just like he's been. He'll get you 3 yards, but that's it. And he did score a touchdown. He had one good run that went up the middle for 9 or 10 yards, and that was an important play. And but that was pretty much it on him. It's just the offense is good enough to win, and I don't know if their game plan was to play like that. Shorter passes, things like that, and they figured the defense wouldn't let the Giants in the game, and they didn't, and so played it safe, I guess. No fumbles, no interceptions, everything. But it's a win. It's a win. Cowboys 10-4. Firmly in first place. I think we gotta wait for the remaining games to see if they clinch it this week. But kind of,
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out because, I mean, do you think Washington and Philadelphia is going to tie it tomorrow?
I don't know. That's you know, whether to clinch or not. It's really bygone. I mean, the Cowboys got such a big lead; they'd have to lose out, and the other teams would have to win out. So. I don't see that happening.
No.
Washington Sunday night, everything. So it's it's the I don't know, the Giants, they ran the ball a little. Devin
They did.
Booker 8 for 74, but like I said, the passing, Glennon was 13 out of 24, a little over 50%. For 99 yards. Fromm came in 6 out of 12 for 82 yards. So
Mm-hmm.
The Giants are they're just searching right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do. People say, well, yeah, they're gonna purposely lose, but okay, but you kind of still want to win. Uh, Guys on the team, individual players, uh, they don't want to play bad because they might lose their starting job. You know,
Right.
they're not going to take their foot off the gas and okay, we're going to get a good draft pick if I play bad. Well, you're
Mm-mm.
going to lose your job if you play bad. So it's kind of playing for jobs. The it's like a double-edged sword
Yeah.
for a team bad, and they're going, they say going for a draft pick and stuff. I mean, if you're
Right.
bad, you're bad, but it's really weird. It's I've heard radio talk shows talk about this very thing. Nobody thinks about the individual player. They say, oh yeah, the team should lose and they get a high draft pick. But
Yeah.
the guys on the team, the individuals, they don't want to lose their starting job.
No, they don't.
And so what is it? What do you think about that?
Ooh.
Kind of a different look.
It is, yeah. Did you hear what the Giants did for fan appreciation?
Um, well, I heard one story about a fan, one of their super fans. They call him the license plate guy. He was getting the season ticket holders tickets to games they weren't going to go to and just selling them to Giants fans.
Oh wow.
Because the last couple of years, it's been over 60% of the fans showing up there were Cowboy fans.
I heard about that too, and then
Yeah. What was the thing you heard?
that they gave everybody that attended, I think it was ticket holders, but I'm not quite sure, free medium sodas.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the season ticket holders got a free 20-ounce Pepsi product.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding? You pay $50,000 for the seat license, and how many thousands of dollars for your season, and they give you a freaking 25-cent drink for free?
I know.
Even if it was, free refreshments, a non-alcoholic for the whole game, you know, you should give them, I don't know. It's just
It's
funny. I'm like, what the F? I'm like, ooh,
right.
thank you. I
Yeah.
hope we didn't lose too much money on that proposition.
I hope not. But I mean, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I'll be kind of insulted, but hey, sodas and stuff are a little expensive. So
Well, you pay $8 for a souvenir cup, which
yeah.
is, like a 32 ounce, and it's 25 cents worth of product, and you pay $8 of it, where you could buy 4 cases in the supermarket of it. Yeah, that's always an insult. The drinks, like most fast food places, that's their biggest profit margin, is on the drinks. That's why they always ask you if you want a large, that's 25 cents more. It's all profit, you know.
Yeah. That's
So
true. It is. Uh,
so well, let's uh
you want to start
start
with?
with the Thursday game.
Yeah.
The Chiefs beat the Chargers in
That's
overtime, 34-28.
that's
Pretty
not
good
really a
game.
surprise. The
Yeah,
overtime was, but the win wasn't.
yeah, the Chiefs, they're ramping up a little bit. The Chargers really needed that win, but they're still
Yeah.
in the playoff hunt. A good game.
Yeah. They got a shot. They're in the sixth spot.
Yep. Pat Mahomes, 31 of 47, 410 yards, 3 touches, and a pick.
Hmm.
He had a really good game. They ran the ball a little bit on the Chiefs. Kelsey and Tyreek Hill did all the damage. Kelsey, 10 catches, 191 yards, and Tyreek Hill, 12 catches, 148. That's sick. So
Yeah.
they look like they're starting to rev up. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, 22 of 38, 236, 2 touchdowns, and a costly pick.
Hmm.
And that's okay. They kept them in the game, and but it was that. Did you see that? It was a crazy touchdown run by Kelsey at the end of the game,
Yeah.
your first possession. So they score a touchdown, you win the other. And here comes the argument again of, well, that's not fair for the other team. They didn't touch the ball in the overtime.
Right.
If you want to win, play. I wish they'd go back just to the regular old sudden death overtime. Kick a field goal, you win.
Right. Get a
Or win.
touchdown, you win.
I like that. This was, we got to let each team touch the ball. Why? You already played 60 minutes. A lot of,
Yeah.
hockey has shootouts, soccer has shootouts, sudden death, baseball has extra innings, basketball has overtimes, Why do you got to do this? I don't know. I liked it the old way. It just does give you a little more suspense, because if you hold them to a field goal or 3 and out or something like that, then you got a chance, but we still had a tie this year.
Yeah. I think there's been a tie. I have to look back, but I think this is right. A tie in every game this this year, at least one.
Yep. And so anyway, well, Chiefs move on. Chargers, they're still in there. So uh, they got their work cut out. But that might be the no, I don't know. It's they could be in the wild card. That's what they're shooting for right now. So, but they gotta start playing better, more consistent. So,
Yeah, they do.
So the next game had the Colts upsetting the Patriots 27-17.
Yeah,
So
this was I guess you'd say, Thursday night package, but on a Saturday.
yeah, that's right. It was it was that odd game that they do at this time of year. All of a sudden, they start putting in Saturday games. I wouldn't mind them doing one Saturday game, like a Thursday night game, and then you get NFL 4 days a week.
Well, we're getting that right now. I mean,
yeah. Well, now we got the COVID games.
And we'll get to those later.
Yeah. And but anyway, Colts, they go to 8-6, Patriots down to 9-5. And so they still got work to do in the division. Mac Jones, 26 out of 45, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. He threw for a lot, but he wasn't super efficient. And they didn't run the ball super well. Everything, let's see, on the Colts. Yeah, the Colts just ran the ball pretty much. Carson Wentz 5 of 12 for 57 yards. And, he ran it 8 times for 17 yards. And Jonathan Taylor was a beast, 29 carries, 170 yards, touchdown. So Colts just played defense and did the slow ground attack game, trying to keep them off balance, I guess. Maybe threw a curveball at, Frank Reich threw a curveball at Bill Belichick, kind of confused him with the game plan,
Yeah.
Like that, it was a different game plan, so I don't know. They go on, and then we have the Steelers playing the Titans at home, and the Steelers pull it out, so they keep themselves alive. Still barely beating the Titans. Titans 9-5, Steelers 7-6-1. Tannehill wasn't very good. 153 yards passing and an interception. And Steelers, Roethlisberger, 16 of 25, 148 yards. It was just a kind of a bad game, I think. But the Steelers won, so they've still got a shot. That tie is
it's gonna hurt. It may help, it may hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it'll hurt them at the end. If they had turned that tie into a W, because that was against the Lions.
Right now, they're 3 below, the playoffs at 10th.
Yeah, so they need them to get it together and stuff. So
yeah,
but they're still in it. Steeler fans are like, okay, probably not a good game to watch. Let's see.
What about
Panthers?
Arizona? Oh, Panthers.
Yeah, Panthers at Bills. Bills beat them handily. Yeah, 31-14. That was at Buffalo. Yeah, Cam Newton sucks. Okay.
He does. He's not like he was.
No.
We're going to say 2014. He was good when he was drafted all the way up to 2014. 2015, I think he got lucky with the Super Bowl. Sorry, Panthers fans. But, oh, wow. Let's see. Mess around, Dave saying wish they do college football. He wishes that overtime was like college football.
Yeah, people have suggested that too. Um, I don't know. It's in some college football games. It does, because they line the ball up, so
Yeah.
close. Yeah, it makes for a high-scoring game. You'd see a lot of NFL records go by the wayside. It's interesting, a different perspective on it,
Hmm.
uh, but
Uh,
I'm old school, and
right.
I didn't think anything was wrong with the old way. If you want to win, get the ball. Okay.
There you go.
If you lose the coin toss, well, then go play defense, hold the other team.
And the
But
Raiders are up 7-0 in the COVID game. We'll just say.
yeah, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end here.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Cam Newton wasn't good. Had a touchdown and a pick. Josh Allen was okay. 19 to 34, 210 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. But their man Singletary ran okay. They just kind of were efficient, and they scored when they had to, and they played good defense. It's Carolina. They had their 3-0 start, and that's pretty much it for the rest of the year for them.
Yeah.
They had hope, but
Hope is
they
lost.
don't have nothing. They're McCaffrey's out for the year. They got a fairly good defense, some young players, but they need a quarterback. McCaffrey's, he's been in the league a couple of years now, a few years,
Yeah.
and now he's starting to get hurt all the time. So I mean, he's a great player because he catches and he runs. So he gets tons of yards every game, but he gets hurt every year now because he's not a big guy. It's his like 5th year in the league, something like that. So this is a time at a running back when they start to go downhill,
Right.
So I don't know, maybe they turn him into a slot receiver like Cole Beasley and Wes Welker type, Edelman type guy,
Yeah.
he could, do that and maybe extend his career. But I don't think if he keeps it running back, he's going to be very productive for too much longer.
No.
So yeah, Bills keep saying, Texans got to win. I don't know if you call this an upset because they played the Jaguar, so somebody had to win.
I would have called it an upset if Jacksonville would have won that game, only because they got rid of Meyer.
Yeah.
And they were hoping that it was going to be like a sigh of relief and all that.
I would have thought it'd been a sigh of relief for the Jacksonville players because a lot of the comments and Twitter blah blah and stuff, they were like, oh, so happy he was gone. He seemed to be like a big douchebag, kicking the kicker in practice when he's stretching, stupid stuff like that, telling his coaches they suck.
Yeah.
He should have been gone after 3 games.
He should have.
In reality, from everything I've read and seen and heard.
Or once that incident happened
with
at the bar, yeah.
Yeah, probably that would have been a good escape for the owner, Khan, to let him go, and rather than just let him go out of the blue. Oh, okay, we can't have this. Fire him then. But he stuck by him. Maybe he didn't want to look like he made a mistake, and he hoped maybe they'd turn it around. But hopefully this is early enough in Trevor Lawrence's career that he's not totally ruined, because he wasn't happy with Urban Meyer's practices or anything. It didn't seem to help him. So, whoever they get in there to become a permanent coach,
Or then Urban Meyer's like, I'm a winner, you're all losers. And it's like,
Well, you're a winner in college, and that was a while ago. You're
yeah,
a loser in the NFL, dude.
right. So I'm like, why would you say something like that? And then him saying that, oh, they get paid
It
over,
was all negative.
it
It
was.
all started coming out. Players started tweeting things he said and stuff. It was a burning ship going downhill real
Yeah,
real fast. If a burning ship can go downhill, I don't even. You got to say downhill because sinking would be too slow.
right.
you
Yeah, it
know.
would.
But Texans got a win, so they're 3-11. Jaguars 2-12. So they're in the hunt for the number one pick. Maybe offensive lineman, defensive lineman, something like
Yeah,
that. They'll be up there. The Jaguars, yeah, they did okay, but the Texans played better defense and just kept them off the scoreboard. So anyway, so them two guys are keeping their pace going.
yeah, they are.
No word on Deshaun Jackson and stuff. I think now something will happen in the offseason.
Oh,
They
I'm
got to
sure.
get that court case taken care of, whatever it is. Maybe he'll end up just paying them off. That'll make him look guilty. Honestly, I don't think he was, but because it's just one guy and yes, 20 women, but they're all asking for like $200,000 and $300,000, not millions. I would think if they were really serious, I don't know. So okay, so anyway, moving on.
Right.
Here's another big upset. The Lions have roared to life. They
They
beat the
did.
Cardinals 30-12 at
I
home
had
in
the
Detroit.
Cardinals picked to win that game. I mean,
Yeah, this is about as big an upset as you could see.
yeah,
It's I don't know. Kyler Murray, he was like okay, but he wasn't running real good. The ankle must still bother him. Colt McCoy had to come in at the end. They more than likely just so that he didn't get further hurt, But
right.
Jared Goff, very efficient, 21-26, 216 yards, 3 touchdowns. They ran the ball fairly well. Reynolds with 26 carries, 112 yards. That's very good. So
It's not too
they
bad, no.
beat them. And I know they had a couple of picks and stuff, fumble recovery. They just outplayed them. They seem to be fired up for whatever reason. They look like a different Lions team than
They
I had
did.
seen. Looking at all the replays and everything, they were jumping up and down, getting fired up. I think once they got a lead on them, they started getting excited because the Giants got a lead and Lions got a lead, never looked back. It was
Right.
like 14-3 or something like that in the beginning, and boom. So they scored in every quarter, 30 points. They looked good.
They did, yeah.
Jared Goff, I bet he, bad year, but I bet he feels really good about that, so I don't know. We're coming down this stretch here to, as we've talked about, you want to be rolling. Cardinals got the Cowboys in 2 weeks, and both teams would need that win. You want to roll into the playoffs. You don't want to come in on a downside. So
No.
it's I'm a little more confident about the Cowboys coming in now. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I mean, I always want them to win, and I think it's so.
Well, last year's Cardinals game was horrible, but
Yeah, it's well, that last year, I don't even throw that whole year out the window for several
yeah.
teams. So Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins win again. Yeah, it's against the Jets, but they're at 7-7 now.
They're
Um,
surprising, I think.
they are, yeah, I believe so. They're getting some wins here. It was at home. You know, it's
Hmm.
Tua 16-27, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's not great, but they did enough to win. They had a good running attack. Duke Johnson 22 for 107, and Gaskin 10 for 54. Tua even had 19 yards on the ground. Uh, they played good. It's spread the ball around.
Hmm.
68 yards for Parker, 51 for Ford, Gaiseki 43 yards. Duke Johnson 1 for 20. So Dolphins played good. Jets played like the Jets again. Zach Wilson, not really any good. 13 of 23, not much going on. Coleman was their leading rusher, 8 for 50. That's a good average, but they need more. Jets are just the Jets. So they're down to 3-11. Shoot, they got a shot at the number 1 pick too. Get them Jaguars to lose again, and Detroit to win again,
Hmm.
and of course the Jets will screw up that number 1 pick. Book's
Yeah.
not out on Zach Wilson. I don't think people are going to say he's not good, but he's been hurt, and he hasn't been awful when he's played. There's no good players on the Jets.
No, but I
You
think
can't tell.
you gotta give a quarterback at least a year or two, maybe.
Yeah, I think a couple of years, when they're young like this, and if you've got an up and coming team, even though they're still bad, but you got good players, you'd like to see flashes of being really good, have that game where he throws for 290 yards and 3 touchdowns, 20 out of
Mhm.
25 like that. And, where everything kind of is working, but freaking Jets, they just don't have anybody, there's no other stars on the team, and a couple of guys over the past couple of years that have been, you know, uh, Adams, the cornerback who went to Seattle, he was like a star, but it's they let him go, so they're
Yeah.
not keeping nothing. The Jets is just the ownership group, general manager, head coach. We've talked about it. They got to start. They got to stop the 2-year cycle. Let somebody stay, but when you get somebody, let them do some good things too. And none of these coaches, they don't seem to inspire or get something going on a team. Like all of a sudden, like maybe their defense starts, having really good games, and they're holding good teams under 20 points, something positive to look for. I don't see it on the Jets. I don't see anything. It's they're just bad on defense, bad on offense, bad coaching, bad general manager. Bad choices on draft picks.
Right.
It's really odd with them. And that's just the way they are. So going down, Bengals at the Broncos. Uh, Ugly, low-scoring game, but the Bengals win again. They're 8-6.
Yeah.
Broncos are down to 7-7. They're probably out of it because they got the Chiefs in front of them, and everything. in that division. So Bengals 15-10. Joe Burrow 15 out of 22, 157 yards. Just little dink and dunk passes, a little bit of running. They ran for 100 yards or so. That's okay. And they, 15-10. That was, field goals, field goals, field goals. I think one touchdown in the game by Denver. Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, a concussion again this year. Poor guy. He went out. He had 98 yards. He may be done for the year. I think. Isn't this his second concussion that he's going to miss a game?
I believe so, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he did get out of the hospital, which is a good thing. He had all mobility.
Yeah.
But he's going to be in the protocol.
Yeah, and I know he's had concussions throughout his career here and there, so maybe time will, he might start thinking about his future. He's made money. He'll be fine.
Right.
It's just so 15-10, Bengals over Broncos. All right, and we go Falcons at the 49ers.
49ers won that one.
Yeah, 31-13, and they're at 8-6. Okay, so they're back in the playoff hunt again, and some of the little experts are saying you got to watch out the 49ers. They're getting.
I heard that, and I'm thinking to myself, they're not that scary. I don't think
They've got good players. I mean, a lot of their stuff hinges on the health of Garoppolo. When he's healthy, he's pretty good, and what did he do? He 18-23, 235 yards, 1 touchdown. That's awesome. Wilson ran the ball 2,110 yards, George Kittle, 6 catches, 93 yards. Samuel, 4 catches, 60 yards. And the young rookie, Ayuk, he had 1 catch for 36 yards. That's a young guy, though, that he's going to be one of the better wide receivers in the league really quick here. That's a good pick for them, and they look good. The Falcons are not a pushover. They're a pretty good team. They could have got to 7-7. Matty Ryan, so-so day, 19-32, 236 yards, a touchdown, but they don't have any running game. And it's kind of odd that Calvin Ridley is missing all this time. So who knows what his future is like in the NFL, but 49ers up to 8-6, they're hot again. They've done that like twice already this year. Won a couple in a row, look great, and then they drop a couple. It was like, whoa, But I think a lot of the experts are calling them a team to watch out for. Because when they're healthy, they're good. So that's the big thing.
I'm sure a lot of Cowboy fans were hoping for Atlanta at that point to win because playoff scenarios and all that. But 49ers played well though.
Yep. So the playoff scenario, I can't even figure that out. It's
I can.
So
it's
last night's game, I watched this game. Packers beat the Ravens 31-30, and that came down to the last couple seconds. Aaron Rodgers is just freaking stupid good. It's 23-31, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he now owns the Packers all-time. He took over for Brett Favre. All-time leading touchdown.
Yeah, he tied it, I think.
No, he went ahead. He needed 2 to tie. I
Okay.
think.
Oh, maybe it was Stars, I think.
Yeah, and
He tried something. I don't know.
it's yeah, he was good, and even at the end of the game, if the Ravens had managed to take the lead, like if they had scored, the Ravens uh, lost the game. They had goal to go, and they were trying for the 2-point conversion. Okay, so it was
Yeah.
31-30. Try to pass to Andrews, the tight end. Not a good pass. I think Huntley tried to force it in there. I think he was just looking at him the whole way. So the Packers held
Yeah.
off, you know, but say they had scored that 2-point conversion, then it would have been 32-31
Right.
with there was like 41 seconds left, but you got Aaron Rodgers. So in
Well,
my head, they were going to lose anyway.
I was wondering why Baltimore was going for two. I mean, it's like
Usually,
you tie the game.
yeah, but usually you go for the tie on the road and the win at home, and that's an old thing.
Well, I mean,
And and they're like,
if
um,
you're at home or on the road and you're down one to tie it, you know,
yeah,
I tie it and take my chance.
yeah, it just depends. Harbaugh, he's been a good coach for a long time, and he knows his team, and I think he just wanted to be aggressive and maybe send a message to the Packers, something like that. But they're
Yeah.
it didn't pay off. But he's won a Super Bowl, so he's always had good teams. Uh, the Ravens, Huntley was pretty good, 28 of 40 for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he also ran for 73 yards and he scored 2 touchdowns. He was pretty interesting to watch. It was kind of a difference of watching quarterbacks. Rodgers was just sitting back there. Anytime anybody got near him, he would calmly just flick the ball off to the side to a running back or tight end there for 8 or 10 yards. And Huntley just running around. He runs really well. He's fast. And he had some throws that were off target, but he had some throws that were on target.
Right.
I think he's a good quarterback. He looks good. Uh, with the rushing and everything, they were probably using Lamar Jackson's playbook for him. They didn't hold nothing back because he would take off a lot. One
Well,
of the touchdowns, I think his second touchdown, they had 10 yards. It was like, 10 or 12 yards to the goal line. And
yeah.
the middle of the field just opened up and he just took it in and he didn't even get hit.
Well, and they've made the system where no matter who's out there, whether it be Lamar Jackson or a backup, all of their quarterbacks can basically run the same system. I guess
Yeah.
that's smart, but you kind of hurt yourself in the process too.
Yeah. It's,
I think.
yeah, they got him for that. So let's see.
I got a few comments here. Let's see. Christy Wilson is saying, "How about them Cowboys?"
How about them Cowboys?
She's also saying she likes the Dak Prescott jersey I'm wearing. Thank you.
All right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and that the Jets are really bad. Which,
And yes, they are in all
yeah,
departments.
right.
Everything. So uh last of yesterday's games, we go to kind of a shocker here. The Saints shut out the Buccaneers 9-0. Tom
Yeah,
Brady got shut out for the first time, I think, since 2006. It was like
it, wa- it,
260 games or something like that.
yeah, and I found it interesting. Like post on Facebook, it says in the year 2006, which is like you said, the year the last shutout. Facebook became open to anyone over the age of 13. Apple's new iPod Shuffle was released, and Mac Jones and Justin Herbert were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
That just goes to show, Tom Brady at 44, such a great career. But the Saints, this is their third win in a row over the Buccaneers too.
Yeah.
They've, Peyton's got something on them. I don't know. He's got them figured out. Anything. Tom Brady had actually a bad day. 26 of 48 for 214 yards and a touchdown. And Fournette didn't do very good. Robert Jones ran okay. But it's the Saints defense, which they've had a good defense all year. Even against the Cowboys, they were tough, but yeah, the Buccaneers. So Saints there, Buccaneers down to 10-4. Saints aren't out of it mathematically.
No, actually, I think they're in like the third or fourth spot.
Yeah.
Just off of that win. And I thought it was funny, during I think their pregame show, everybody picked Buccaneers, but Drew Brees picked New Orleans, and he was the only one to get it right. I guess last year. Well, last year they all picked. He was quarterbacking the Saints, but everybody in the studio picked Tampa Bay, and New Orleans won. So they almost did it again. He's like, "I'm not doing it again. We're not doing that." No.
Yeah. Well,
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's funny when they do that. Well, that's the games that have been played. And then, of course, right now we got going on Raiders at the Browns in
Cleveland.
Second quarter in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Second quarter, 6 minutes left. Raiders are up 7-0. So
both teams need this win.
Yeah, they really do. Browns are at 7-6. Raiders are at 6-7. They can't lose anymore, So it's it's doing that. And Browns, Nick Mullins is the quarterback because Mayfield has COVID.
Their coach has COVID.
Today. And then the COVID all of a sudden is rearing its ugly head. But something that was brought up on one of the talk shows, well, how come all the fans, you're not hearing big outbreaks from fans that went to the games, it's just.
It is weird now that you brought it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that just me saying, I think the players, as the years went on, probably started getting a little lax, in their what they need to do and, how to stay safe. They started getting lax. And so, all of a sudden they started going out a little more and being around more people. And I think that's probably what happened. But the NFL last week did adjust the protocols for teams to make it a little easier for a player to come back. Because sometimes he would have to be out 10 days, but then they adjusted it.
It was like 5 days if you're vaccinated, 10 if you're not.
Yeah, something like that. And for the players that are vaccinated, they're making it easier for them to come back quicker. Like they get tested, wait a day, get tested again. If they're good, then they're fine, which is a little bit of an incentive for maybe players to get vaccinated. Because, and I'm sure the team's telling these guys, your team depends on you, yeah, it's your choice, but it's your team too. You're paid a lot of money,
Well, I think
Everybody's afraid of dying from it. The chance of that is really tiny,
well,
tiny.
well, you got those that are afraid of dying or getting deathly ill, and then you got some that are just afraid of needles and just getting a shot, and I understand that.
Yeah, yeah, I can
So
understand that too. Um, it's it's your choices that you're making, though.
yeah,
So
well, it's like what Jerry Jones, here in Dallas said about I think Cooper,
hmm
uh, or maybe it was Gallup, I can't remember. You're not doing the team any good if you're not vaccinated, but I know it's everybody's
yeah,
preference.
yeah,
So you kind of
so
have to have that fine line.
yep, I believe in a vaccine, but I'm not going to force my opinions
Oh
on
yeah.
somebody. If they don't want to, that's
Hmm.
fine. That's what you believe. Don't try to put your beliefs on me.
Right.
So anyway, so Raiders at Browns, up 7-0. And tonight's game is the Vikings at the Bears.
Normally scheduled game.
Yeah, normal game, so Vikings at 6-7, Bears are at 4-9. Um, Justin
Both.
Fields is hurt again. So it's Vikings, they need the win. They're toying with their fans. When they win, they
Yeah.
look good. When they lose, they look bad.
So
You
they
know,
look like they should either when they win or lose. Okay.
yeah. So I don't know. Um,
Now I think whoever wins this or loses this, I should say, sadly is eliminated from playoffs. I think
well, yeah, the Bears
probably.
are.
I think they're already out.
Yeah, the Bears are just out of the playoffs. They're not very good at all. Vikings, yeah. I don't know if they win out, end up 10-7, get in the playoffs. Maybe Zimmer keeps his job. I think his job's on the line. That's what I think. You think
I
that?
I think so. I think if it's even if they went to a Super Bowl and lost, I think at that point he'd still have his job because you took him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Anything less than that, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because he gets them into the playoffs a lot, but they haven't, I can't remember the last time they
They,
made the NFC title game.
I want to say it was that year where they had the pass interference, the whole thing, and you could challenge pass interference, and I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was like 2018. I want to say
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, so tomorrow we got the
two more
Washington,
games.
two more games. We got Washington at the Eagles.
Uh huh.
Um,
I don't care who wins that one.
yeah,
Really.
they're both at 6-7. Washington, I don't know. They're kind of a good on defense. Eagles, they're
Yeah.
okay. I think Jalen Hurts, maybe he'll be a good NFL quarterback. I don't know. He's had some good games this year. And the Eagles, Sirianni, I think, is the head coach. He's done some positive things. So we
Yeah.
got the Eagles in the last game of the year. So, I want to win that one. I want to beat Washington. Washington, Cardinals, Eagles. 3 in a row, rolling in the playoffs.
We should theoretically win against Washington because they're playing on a Tuesday, and then they have to turn around and play on a Sunday.
Yeah, but I mean,
Do you,
5 days in between. It's but they're
yeah,
professional athletes; they can handle it.
right.
They'll have one full practice instead of two. Um, something like that. And then you got also tomorrow the Seahawks at the Rams. Uh, the Rams really would like a win to get themselves going. Seahawks 5-8. I don't know what happened to them this year. Even Russell Wilson doesn't look like himself. You know, he was out for 3 weeks, and you know they had Geno Smith quarterback. He ain't no good. So
His fingers, what happened?
yeah, so him getting hurt really hurt them. They, you know, because they could be 8-5.
They could.
If Russell Wilson had stayed in. So who knows? It's at the Rams. Rams should win. They should be 10-4 too. One of the first place teams, going for that. It's right now it looks like to me, I think the Cowboys are going to play the wild card game. Let's see the standings here. Whoops. It's so we've got the in the NFC, got the Cowboys at 10-4. Washington and the Eagles are 3 games back. Cardinals are 10-4, and the Packers are 11-3.
They won the NFC East or the NFC North.
The Buccaneers are 10-4, so it looks like the Packers are going to get the bye week if all things stay the same. The Cardinals 10-4, Rams 9-4, probably should be 10-4 after tonight. I don't know what their head-to-head and all that stuff is. The 49ers, they're kind of lurking 8-6. If something could happen and they could sneak up in there. Vikings like 6-7, outside shot as well. The Saints at 7-7 have an outside shot at a wild card.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things there. And the AFC, Patriots now down 9-5, and the Bills are 1 game back at 8-6. If the Bills can right their ship, they could make a nice little run here. And the Chiefs at 10-4, Chargers 8-6 in the West. There, and the Broncos are 1 game back at the Chargers. So that's a little bit a race for a possible wild card in the AFC North. Bengals 8-6, Ravens 8-6, and the Browns are 7-6, and as is the Steelers, but they've got the tie.
So I'm looking at the scenarios, and all 3 teams. I mean, there's 4, but all 3 teams can essentially clinch this. The next 2 days. The Rams can clinch with the Rams Eagles or the Rams Vikings losing, and then Philly tying. I doubt that will happen.
Yeah.
The same thing with the Cardinals and the Buccaneers. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think Philly's going to tie. I don't think that game's going to end up in a tie.
No, I'm done with ties. So yeah. So
no one's going to clinch this week.
What do you think is the because they're all over 500? Is the AFC North the best division in football?
It's the most
competitive, I'd say.
It's competitive. It's crazy, really, because it's almost like a 2-way tie. You got 2 teams in first place, 2 teams in second place.
Yeah.
Just by overall record, not counting all of the tie-breaking, stuff. But it's very competitive, and I mean they call it the black and blue division for a reason, and that's kind of showing what it is.
Yeah, that's the old school too, but
yeah,
it's probably right about now, so
just in a division race, it's like competitive.
Well, yep. So, and the AFC South, 2 teams are in it. Titans at 9-5, Colts at 8-6. really the Titans should have put this division away, but they'll lose a game on you, and the Colts are hanging in there. So
Do you think the Colts running back will be MVP?
He's had a great year. Jonathan Taylor has been running like crazy. He's had a great year. He's a good running back. Second year in the league. He had well over 1,000 yards last year, and he's on his way to, probably 1,500 yards or so, which is honestly an actual good year.
I feel like he should get it, but it always goes to a quarterback, and I think, probably Rodgers or Brady will get it. But I would like to see Taylor get it.
Yeah, he could be in there. I would think Brady might get it, but who knows? It's Brady.
If he doesn't get MVP, he'll probably get the rushing title.
Oh, I think he will. Now, if the Colts end up by coming in first, that's a big thing because he's a big part of that.
Yeah.
And so that could make a difference too.
So Derek Carr just tried to run it in for a touchdown here.
Yeah.
And he got met by the Cleveland Browns just short. Wow. He was running pretty good, and then one of the Browns caught up to him and just nailed him. So it was a third down. Now it's a fourth down play. And they're going for the kick.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be 10-7 coming, or 10-0 coming up.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
I think I'm good. Do you have anything else?
Nope. Just wish all this COVID stuff would get players take care, be smarter. It's nice having NFL football every night of the week, but
we fans would like to
have a lot of. Some of the teams have a lot of players out. I know the Ravens did, and a couple other. The Browns have, the
Rams.
Mayfield's out, so
I think the Browns and the Rams had the most out of the two conferences, and I think maybe the Rams had it out of the NFL.
Yeah, and they changed the protocol so that them teams could play this week.
And I understand doing that, but at the same time, you agreed on something beforehand, and then now you're changing it. And I know things are, it can change on the fly, but you're saying to the NFL, well, we can change it anytime, and you don't really have to obey by the rules per se. They're making everybody confused. What's the rules? Is it going to be this rule today, tomorrow? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. So
right.
Anyway, cheerio, fans.
We'll be back next week with another episode. I'm Crispy Bacon. That's Coach D, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.